Bitcoin itself is a brand new financial instrument. It's only 15 years old. And because it is so young, Bitcoin has historically traded as a risk-on asset. It has had a high correlation with the stock market for many years. Sometimes it even ticks second by second with equities. So from that perspective, Bitcoin is not yet mature enough to take on the role of a safe haven asset. With that being said, Bitcoin has, in its history, decoupled from stocks for brief periods of time, experienced exponential gains during those periods, and those particular periods of time are when Bitcoin shines as a hedge against fiscal and monetary profligacy. And that's what we see Bitcoin attempting to take the role as this safe haven asset to escape the amount of monetary and fiscal money printing that has gone on around the world for the last decade plus. However, because Bitcoin is a young asset, it still most of the time trades like a risk-on asset, and that's why you see it crater alongside global stocks this week.
Okay, so we are seeing a bit of a recovery in stocks in this part of the world. The futures are pointing to a higher start. With crypto prices in free fall, where do you expect things to go from here? I mean, we have seen somewhat of a recovery, but what do you think will drive the prices for this sort of next leg, do you think?
Of course. So Bitcoin has, in its young history, experienced this 4-year or so seasonality. It has experienced 3 or 4 bull markets followed by 75 to 90% drawdowns. Bitcoin's last 80 or so percent drawdown was after the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX blowup in 2022. And I do believe that Bitcoin is in the middle of its bull market. And so what we saw in the end of 2023 was the court case victory for Grayscale over the SEC. That paved the way for Bitcoin ETFs. We've seen an enormous amount of capital come into the asset class since the approval of US-based ETFs in the spot market. And I do believe that we are in the middle of Bitcoin's bull market. Now, with Bitcoin taking this dive from the mid-70s to below 50,000, people get scared and they say, oh, the bull market is over. But Bitcoin historically tends to see 25 to 50% drawdowns in the middle of its bull markets. And so above, I would say on the charts, around $38,000 to $42,000, we are still in a bull market for Bitcoin, although I understand for a lot of holders right now, it can feel very scary.